Respected guests, my dear fellow colleagues, and dear participants, Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Benazir Rahman, Assistant Professor of Finance, Northern University, Bangladesh. Welcome you once again to the last day of two-day-long workshop on emotional intelligence at the exploratory stage of career. Well, this workshop has been organized by NAB Business School. Well, emotional intelligence means you have to know about you have the ability to use, manage your own emotion in a positive way, to relieve your stress, and to handle other emotions as well, and to solve your conflicts as well. So it helps you to build your teamwork capacity and organizational skill. So I believe after the completion of this workshop, our participants will definitely learn how to use emotional intelligence in their job sector, in their personal life, and so on. So, well, let me summarize the session of the workshop at first. Last day, we covered two sessions with the basics of emotional intelligence that has been conducted by two prominent speakers. One is Professor Dr. K. Maran sir from Sairam Institute of Management Studies, Chennai, India, and another from our very own Professor Dr. Nazrul Islam, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Northern University, Bangladesh. Tonight, we'll cover another two sessions. The first session will be conducted by Professor Dr. V. Hemant Kumar. He's also from Sairam Institute of Management Studies, Chennai, India. Sir will cover the different dimensions of emotional intelligence. And then at the last session, we'll have with us Professor Moinuddin Chaudhary, sir, Professor and CEO of SLSD. He will cover the social skills and applications of EIs. So before, dear participants, if you have any question, you will get chance to ask at the end of each session. So kindly put your questions at the comment section or the chat option. So now I'd like to request our very own respected head of Department of Business, Dr. Javed Mahmood sir, for opening speech. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Benazir Rahman. Yeah, thank you, Benazir Rahman. As mentioned by Benazir Rahman, emotional intelligence can be defined as the wisdom about and ability to deal with emotions. According to Warren Bennis, distinguished professor of business administration and founding chairman of the Leadership Institute, University of California, emotional intelligence, more than any other factor, more than IQ or expertise, accounts for 85 to 90% of success at work. You need IQ, but it doesn't make you a star. Emotional intelligence can help you get a job, but EQ gets you promoted. If you cannot understand how your emotions are affecting yourself, if you are not able to manage your emotions, if you cannot take full responsibility for your own life, if you cannot recognize how others feel, and if you are socially awkward, then no matter how smart you are not going to get very far. And why not? It is because you are not emotionally intelligent. On the 21st of this month, you have heard two gurus speak about emotional intelligence. Two others experts will be lecturing you on the subject today. Please listen to them. Try to learn from them. Because what really matters for success, character, happiness, and lifelong achievement is emotional intelligence. So today we have, as I mentioned before, we have two experts. I won't be taking up any more of your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your opening speech. And yes, the session is going to be very effective for the participant. So on this note, let me start our first session of tonight and the third session of this workshop, which will cover the different dimensions of emotional intelligence. I'm privileged to be sharing the screen with our first speaker, Professor Dr. V. Hemant Kumar, this evening. So let me add a brief introduction of our speaker. Well, Professor Dr. Hemant Kumar is a professor of Sairam Institute of Management Studies, Sri Sairam Engineering College, Chennai, India. He has almost 17 years of teaching experiences. He had done his PhD in management from SK University, Anantapur. He is an official trainer for information technology firms and TNPA, and he supervised almost 340 projects in different functional areas of management. He has conducted training programs at Malaysia, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and UAE. Sir, we are lucky to have you here today with us. May I now request Sir to share his views with us. Sir, over to you.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. So
My
indeed,
pleasure,
it
sir.
gives me immense pleasure to get associated with the Northern University.
Our pleasure,
So
sir.
I hope I'm on. Yeah. So I happened to be in Bangladesh for a couple of times. Love the place, and through my dear and respected Professor Nazrul Islam, with whom we work closely. So this is the good opportunity for me to get connected with you, learned gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. So we can just proceed with the session. I wish that it's just what happens in our life that deals with emotional intelligence. I'll just quote some pretty points which you can very well associate with your routine life, but it up to us to grasp the things properly and act accordingly, right? Because a person who's quite good in EI can achieve anything in life. But at the same time, if you are not practicing the EI properly, it may lead to disaster quite a number of times. Sharing the sign. Okay. Yes, is the screen visible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, fine. So this is the day 2 workshop on EI. See, the topic itself is very clear and need of the hour, I can say that, very much in the exploration stage of career. It is not that any point of time, of course, it is required at any point of time in life, but it is very much important in the exploration stage of career, right? So let me take you to some of the dimensions of EI, wherein the great stalwarts would have dealt with that. Let me focus on my views about the dimensions of EI with some lively examples, wherein you can make it very clear. Okay, you all would have heard about McClellan's the needs theory, one of the renowned person who had done a wonderful research on motivation, right, and needs. See how far this is related to the topic of EI, right? So exploration stage of career, what is the role of EI is our talk now. So McClellan had focused his 3 needs very clearly on power, affiliation, and achievement. See, if you could associate the needs of a person in life, either they'll be looking for power, affiliation, and achievement. But if you could associate this with the career, you know, there are different stages of career when you plan for it. The first one is exploration, right? And after that, you establish yourself. Then comes the mid-career. In the mid-career, you will have a lot of issues related to mid-career crisis stage, especially in the age of 40 to 45, you know. There are many drastic changes that happens in life. People start thinking whether this is my right cup of tea that I'm having it, or they entirely shift the career from what they were before. Like that, different things takes place in the age between 40 and 45. And many persons who have crossed it will vouch my statement, and who are yet to reach that one can anticipate it very eagerly, right? So there comes the role of emotional stability very much. See, if you could associate these 3 needs with the career stages, in which age of your career you require power or achievement or affiliation. So the researchers have found, and I do have done quite a number of researches and associating McClellan's theory with the career stages. From the research outcome, I can very well reveal that, till the age of 30, people are very keen to get affiliation. Right? They feel very proud to say that I belong to this institution, I work for this concern. Okay, they are very proud and wearing that identity card of them and roaming around here and there. Affiliation, that gives them some pride and name in the society, right? And after that, if you could see from 30 to 40, 45, they want to achieve something in life. See, what is this? I just go and come back, and what is the role of mine? And what is that I have achieved? When I turn back, there is nothing to be quoted. So there should be some sort of achievement that should take place in life, right? That is very much important. And after that, if you could see from the age of 45 onwards, people don't start talking about affiliation or achievement. They want power. Please remember that one. A person who had worked as head of the institution in an organization or any other university or whatever may be the type of organization, okay, never mind about the salary. When he moves from one institution to another, he is very keen on the power aspects, right? He is very, very keen on the power aspect. Never mind about affiliation or achievement, right? So this is what you can associate the need of power, affiliation, and achievement with that of career stages, where you should very carefully use the concept of emotional intelligence, right? Take for instance, the 67-year-old man explores a career. Okay, you think that once you become 50 or 60 or whatever it is, it depends upon our mindset and emotions, that we think that, okay, I can't do anything. Let me quote an instance. Author unknown, right? There was a businessman in US who's in the age of 67 years old. He is. All of a sudden, his factory got fired. Are not there, but the entire factory got fired. His best friend, in the age of 30, 35, he came, stood next to him. He said that, Dad, what it is? He just politely called his son and said that, come, son, come stand next to me. At least I need a pole. Go call your mom and tell that, ask her to have a look at this fire. It's very spectacular. It is very hard to look at a fire of this sort, and that to our own fire. See the statements that he had uttered. Okay, it's quite different. And he said that he waited till all the property, factory is being burnt into ashes. And after that, he looked at his son. His son asked, Papa, kya kare? He said that we will start everything from tomorrow. We'll start a new beginning, right? So this example, the reason why I'm telling here is, exploring a career does not depend on the age alone. He explored something new in the age of 67. So please remember, age is just a number, and any point of time you can just start anything new and you can shine well, right? Remember that one. See, let me take a look at the current corporate. You know how people are sacked. You don't need very, very hefty reasons for you to sack a person. See, if you could see this one, I'm sorry to say, but you have failed in your test because you didn't even make a sad face when a sad story was being narrated to you, right? How EQ tests are conducted? Do you think that your facial emotions are very important when you're listening to your person? Of course, yes. It's very, very important. When they are telling something happy, your face should bloom. It should be blemished. But at the same time, when they are revealing something sad, you should feel as if you just care for them and feel some sort of sympathy for them, right? And this person is just narrating something sad that had happened, and the opposite person's facial expression is not so okay. So he couldn't bear that one. He said that you have failed in the test, in your assessment or in your appraisal. So you put yourself in that position. The sadness is on your part, Baba. What is there for me to do? I'm just listening. Since you're my boss, I'm listening to you. That's all. And I cannot feel for your sorrow. But this is how things happen in corporate. The most unexpected things happen in the corporate. Must be prepared for anything. So that is why now they are including some of the courses in management about disaster management, not the societal disaster, rather the disaster that takes place in your own institution, in your own organization, right? See this one. How smart is the HR? How smart is the HR? The current concept of HR, earlier it was like a welfare management, you can say personal management, HR, HRM, HRD, and HC, you call it as a human capital. These things goes on, and colloquially people say in corporate, what is HR? Hardly reliable. You cannot rely a person in HR, He'll be there next to you, but he becomes a sandwich between the management and the workers. That's the problem, right? We should be very, very careful about taking this ahead. Look at the statement here. We have to cut your salary by 50%. So when you stop with this one, what people will think, okay, I can come only 15 days a month. If not every alternate day, I can take a leave. All those things. Or at least 6 months I have to work for a year. No. See the smart reply from them. Now on, just work every another minute. You should be there in your workplace. 1 minute you work, another minute you take a rest, but you cannot go out of the office, workplace. In that case, no other go, you should be related to the work. But for the statistics, the HR will say that we ask you to work every other minute only. It is up to you to work continuously or not. Right? See, I was in HR department for 4 years. Then I am into teaching for the past 20 years or so. Right? So don't take it, the concept of HR with me as hardly reliable. Okay? Just I'm telling you. Okay, see here. Emotional intelligence dimension frequently deals with these two, moral dilemma and ethical dilemma, right? Okay, what do you mean by moral dilemma? What do you mean by moral dilemma? Good versus bad, very easy for you to identify good versus bad, right? So, for example, you want a good job or you want a bad job? The job, nothing like a bad one, right? Or you want to praise a person, you want to murder a person. There is a dilemma, right? You want to shake hands with him or you want to take one's hand. So you stick to the morality and say that, yes, I want to do something good. So there is no point in thinking about bad. See, whether you want to retain this person or whether you want to sack the person from the job, right? So think about your morality and say that, yes, let us retain him, let us give him a chance, like, okay. So that you can say as a good versus bad dilemma. That is a very, very moral in nature. It's easy for everybody to do so. But whereas the another one is ethical dilemma. Very many of us talk about ethics, professional ethics, right? But whether it is a myth or reality, and I leave it to your own perspective, right? Whether it is good or bad. Ethical dilemma is between the good versus good and bad versus bad, right? Can you give any examples of good versus good or bad versus bad? See, let me take you. You got a jackpot, you got a prize, right? You want to take it in cash or you want to take it in DD, demand draft. See, many persons take in the form of cash for income tax purposes. Others, they ask for a DD for safety and security, right? Everything in white. See, if this, you got a dilemma, you will be happy, you will be pleased, right? Your face will become a reddish pink to get this one because you got a hell of a lot of money. And there is a dilemma. Good versus good. Say, suppose you got a job in two good companies. Which one to take? Dilemma. Right? Good versus good. I got a job in TCS, I got a job in CTS. Cognizant and Tata, which one to take? Almost both of the same salary, good versus good. That too will lead to some stress. You have to be careful with your emotions. On the other hand, if you could say bad versus bad. See, this is very crucial. You're already in a pathetic stage, right? Whether you want to be killed by a dagger or with a gunshot, you don't know what to say, but you have to take a decision, right? That is bad versus bad. These two things are also part of your react, because unless you know how to handle the emotions, control the emotions, we will see the dimensions of that one. It is not only understanding your own emotions, but it is very important for you to understand others' emotions. That is very important. You know, we like some persons. Why? See, he is very understanding. What do you mean by understanding? He cares for us. Is that real or myth? Or he pretends as if he is caring for us, right? So we used to say in HR, the management concepts, make each and every employee feel that they are the most important asset in the organization, even though it's a myth and not reality. That is the role of HR. Make each and every employee feel that they are the most important asset in that organization. Okay, let that be a myth. But the employee feels happy that they are. Yes. Hello, is everything okay?
No, it is fine, sir. You can carry on.
Yeah, okay. Right, fine.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Even though the employee feels that, okay, the management is dodging us, they are happy because management cares for them, right? So these type of dilemmas are there, good versus bad and good versus good and bad versus bad. It is very hard for us to decide and cope up with that. See, why is that we want to know about emotions? You may be intelligent enough to cater to my emotions as well as others. The top 10 reasons for employee burnout. See, definitely, every one of us can't escape from any of these points. Either you will be the victim or will be the person, right? Please don't take it personal. It's just about the concept that we are dealing with. Poor leadership. Sometimes we know very well about ourselves than others, but we will not reveal that to them, right? Poor leadership. Either you will be working under a poor leadership or you yourself will be a poor leader. In both the cases, you have to manage your emotions, right? SWOT analysis. We know about our SWOT. What are our strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat, right? And the next one is lack of organizational caring. See, people are longing for that, you know, a caring family, a caring organization, a caring friend. Lack of organizational caring, you feel bored to work for that organization. Even though the job is quite monotonous, see, my management is quite good. They take care of me properly, right? Not only the employee, their family members as well. Because the family members are the influencers for a person to hold on to the organization for a quite long period of time. And negative co-workers, you know, there's ample number of negative co-workers. Okay, उसको कुछ कमी भी नहीं है किसी भी organization में, है ना? You just tell a proposal, a new proposal. Immediately person will tell, ये नहीं चलेगा. But you ask him to tell some proposals, they'll say that they keep thinking for a long time, right? And the group meeting will be there, group discussion will take place, meeting with the MDs, board of directors meeting, and with the employee, everything fine. They'll ask you for some new proposals, innovative ideas. Everybody will keep mum, and when one starts initiating, there will be 4 or 5 persons to pull him down. I don't think so, it's a good idea. Then why don't you give idea? That they will keep their mouth shut. Negative co-workers, how you want to manage them? See, please remember, you cannot avoid negative co-workers. But your efficiency in handling them matters a lot, right? You should not lose your temperament. There is a statement which I came across. Nobody can hurt you without your permission. Remember this, how strong the person is in EI. Nobody can hurt you without your permission. So it is up to you to take things serious or not. Right? The next one, politics or sabotage. Filled ample in organization. Right? So we often say that organizational politics, part and parcel of every organization, right? You are not or taken on top, be careful. And lack of resources, they'll say that you have to do this work. Ye kaam to hona chahiye bas. And you ask for some resources for that, financial resources, technological resources. No, when I ask you to do some work, why you are giving me an expense? Not excuse, expense. Okay, I don't want to spend anything. Give me some ways where I can make some money. Don't make me spend. Lack of resources. People get burnout. Please remember the topic on this one, employee burnout, right? In all the cases, it is not that you get vexed, you get burnt out. And overemphasis on return on investment. People say that you are being paid this much of salary. What is the return on investment? See, when people start considering that salary is an expense, you will not get return on investment. Remember my word. People should feel that paying salary to an employee as an investment. Then you get good work done, timely work, quality of work, and employee loyalty, and they become your brand ambassadors. And work overload. Every organization, it is mandatory. Nobody can say that I have been given the right work and right quantum of work. Overloading of work, right? And please remember, there are some attitude with some persons. If your working hours is from morning 10 to 6, you start working from 4 o'clock and pretend as if you are working a lot and you extend your time beyond 6. No way. Start by 10 and finish by 6. Have a target for you and stop with that one. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, you start your work. Excuse me. The next one is poor communication. So you don't blame others that you are not communicated properly. If you want some data or information, go get it done because it is your work. If today it is not done, tomorrow you have to do it. It will pile up. The work will not be allotted to some other person. It will come to your same own table where you will have a pile of files to see. So there is no point in complaining about poor communication. You want some data, get it done. Right? An unethical or illegal request by manager happens, very much happens. Handle with a smile. That's all. Need not adhere to that one, but handle with a smile. Your smile will give a lot of answers to them. Remember, say no with a smile instead of saying yes with anger and just gripping about it. Say no with a smile. So no, sir, it's very hard for me to. I'm really afraid to take up this request from your end. Put it that way. You can associate with your organizations in any organization as that. There are some persons who keep working and keep working. And there are some persons who don't work at all. But organization is a blend of both. Right? Our boss will ask us, you know very well that this person will not work. How can I assign this task to them? And is it a fate for a person who's working properly? Happens. So think that it is a compliment to you. Okay, never ever think that you're working for this organization for a lifetime, right? Anywhere you go, it will add to your credentials. Next one, no clear or organizational vision or direction. Fine. Don't bother about it. You have your clarity in your vision and direction. But there are some persons who will just tie your eyes and ask you to do some work because they don't want you to know what is the entire picture. Right? They don't want you to know what is the entire picture. You do this one and give it to me. I know what to do and how to organize things. See, these things will put an employee in a very, very bad shape. They will lose their emotions very often, right? You should be handling these type of right. Put it simple. How many of us understand emotions? Like understanding emotions, managing emotions, right? These four are very, very vital. And what do we do after understand? See, you know very well, you understand the emotions of your co-workers, your boss, your subordinates, everybody, your peer group, fine. And it is our responsibility to act with common sense. Please remember that one. See, when a faculty asks in a class after dealing with a concept, have you all understood this one? Yes, ma'am. Yes, Prof, we got it, right? And what do you do after understand? If you are asked a question, then it becomes a problem, right? Some smart students will say that, sir, I understood. Are you going to ask me? If that is the case, would you mind repeating it once? The faculty will not get angry in that case. He'll repeat it. He is very smart enough asking the faculty to repeat, right? And act with common sense. That is more than enough. You see, you think that it is a very simple answer, no? Acting with common sense. Because many of the persons lack common sense. You know, in day out, we see persons. Do they have any common sense to do like this? You can't. Looking at you, the person will feel one day or another. They will change because common sense is not so common, right? There are persons, you see another person acting nonsense. Some persons will go and tell, some persons will stop him, persons will not tell that one. They sit back and enjoy. All these things are emotions. Please remember. You play with others' emotions. That is so bad. See here. Emotional intelligence is the ability to identify, understand, and manage emotions, the ability to manage ourselves and our relationships effectively. See, when you say relationship, it is focusing on another person, another entity, right? Your relationship with your family, your friends, your relatives, your boss, your co-workers, everybody. So the very, very important part is understanding about others' emotions as well and how you are going to manage that one. See here, it's angry, happiness, sad. You know about Charlie Chaplin? He has got very, very pathetic situation in life and he makes the whole world laugh. Okay, without even uttering a single word. Okay, many of his movies are muted. Like a surprise, fear, disgusting. You know, your face is the index. People can understand everything from your facial expressions and especially from your eyes, right? You show something like that, even if it happens, it is very, very hard to act neutral. Please remember, we are addicted to emotions and feelings. You cannot hide it. Whatever the level of maturity that you have got, your age or anything, immediately it will reflect in your behavior or in your facial expressions or in your actions. We can manage somehow, that's all. That's what it said. Manage emotions. You cannot hide emotions. You cannot stop your emotions, right? Then you're not living. See, your emotional intelligence could see these dimensions of that one: self-awareness, social awareness. Self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and social skills. That is relationship management. If this slide is a bit blurred, and again, yes, you could see the self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and social management. Your self-awareness, the ability to understand your emotions as well as recognize their impact on relationship and performance. Very often in interview, they'll ask a question, tell me about yourself. right? And many training sessions are there, how to put it very crispy way and what you have to tell and how is that you have to impress the interviewer, everything. There is also another part, what happens behind the scenes, if you could see the things that are happening behind the scenes, your interview is scheduled and the HR will be there. And HR is very, very busy in the month end and the beginning of the month, right? In the middle of the month, they'll be quite normal. But the interviews are scheduled in the end of the month, where their schedules are very, very hectic. They'll say that the boss, I have scheduled for an interview, please go and take up. That time only they'll get your files, right? They'll get your CV. And they need some time to go through your CV, right? To ask you, to filter you, to scrutinize. For that, it is a pampering type of question. Tell me about yourself. Sometimes you will wonder that after revealing everything about you, they'll ask the same old question again, something. What is your basic degree? Then you would have felt in your mind that, oh, just now I have said about the entire thing, about my schooling, education, college, everything. This fellow is asking me again, what's your UG? Is he gone nuts or something like that? No, that happens in your mind, but you cannot reveal that one. This happens on the another part. And if you could see self-management, your self-management controlling your emotions and using your awareness of them to stay flexible and act positively. A critical aspect in business is the ability to keep any disruptive emotions under control. That will reflect in your face for sure, but try to control it. There are some persons who will control their tears. It will just roll out just like that. In management, we have some management games and we have some mock interviews and stress interview especially. Right? Stress interview, they'll just hurt your inner feelings to the core. And they will see how far you are managing yourself, how far you are emotionally stable. Because in the job of marketing, you have to bury your pride. Not even a single percentage you should have, right? Ego. They'll bury your ego, and not only burying, on top of that, they'll stand and stamp on it. Okay? That's the part of that. They'll test that in the interview. They'll see how far you are able to manage your emotions, how far you are able to control your emotions, right? Because you deal with customers, you deal with clients, right? And you have to convince them. You'll not believe, they just tested a person's emotions in an interview. They asked a question, you are new to marketing. How can I believe that you can convince the clients? He said that, no, I can convince it. Not an issue. The immediate question was, sell yourself to me. Sell yourself to me. How old are you? He said, I'm 23. Okay, fine, sell yourself. You don't know what to say. Right? He could not, he started telling about himself, what is there in the CV for 2-3 minutes. You just think, not tell me about yourself. How far you can talk about yourself? People think that he's trumpeting himself. No, that's not the case. And after 2 or 3 minutes, you don't know what to say. He said that, sir, you provide me some training. I heard that induction and after that followed by training is there for 3 months. So after training, I'll grasp a lot of knowledge and I'll be a good marketer. Then the immediate question from the interviewer is that, see, how old are you? 23 years. For the past 23 years, you know about yourself. You cannot tell that in a crispy way to convince me and sell yourself to me. And what is that you are going to learn in this 3 months of training? I'm going to convince my customer. I am intended to hire you, but the customer may not be so. They may not have any intention of buying my product or service. How are you going to convince them? Self-management. How you control your emotions, right? It's very, very important. They'll snub you to the core. Be careful. Manage that one. Sometimes, miracles happen in the interview. They'll say that they'll give shake hands to you and they say that, yeah, you're there on our team and welcome on board, so and so, all these things. You'll just come out as if you got the appointment order. But another person would be snubbed very badly and he say that dash compliments to the interviewer and come out and say that he may be getting a positive call. You don't know how it happened. There are different ways of judging in an interview, right? And when you say about social awareness, your ability to identify emotions in other people, understand their perspective and take an interest in their concerns. This is very important, right? You have to tap the target. There are some persons, especially in marketing, you cannot say no to that salesperson. He will please you in some way or the other, where you become addicted, you become a client, that's all. Right? Because he understands you. A good marketer will not talk much. He will let the customer talk. So the customer, he gets and went, he'll just pour out everything. What is his plus, minus, what are his problems with the earlier product or service, what is his expectation, everything. Then he understands clearly what does he expect. And he taps the target. So he becomes convinced. So like that, understand others' emotion, give a vent for others to reveal themselves. That is very important. In some of the foreign nations, psychologists have got a lot of potential. One of my friends is there in US. He is a psychologist. He says that people come and talk to me. They need a vent. I charge $300 for 1 hour. I don't do anything. I just sit and listen to them. They come and talk to me, pour out all their happiness, sorrows, or whatever it is. I just give them a nice pat on their back and send them, don't worry, things will be all right. No, people are there in this materialistic life. Nobody understands me. Nobody gives a room for my emotions. They want a vent for their emotions. And social management, with understanding of social awareness, how you are going to manage the society. Your ability to use your awareness, your own emotions together with your understanding of emotions of others to manage interactions successfully. See, normally teachers knows that very well. Class management is one of the critical examples of social management. The receptivity is there, right? The receptivity is there. That's very, very important. You identify the students by their faces. The post-lunch session, you come that you give them a good treat. There when I've been to Bangladesh, during the break, they gave a sumptuous lunch and the biryani was awesome. And after that, pet bhar gaya. And after the post-lunch first session, little bit of thing is there. But the person understood who's handling the session there. Okay, he just gave them some physical activity. We got rejuvenated, just like that. Right? So understanding about others' emotions and how you're going to manage that one. See, in that case, we cannot be rigid with them. You are here and you have to sit and listen, nothing of that sort. Nowadays, this will not happen. Understanding their emotions and giving respect for others' emotions. Yeah, I tell my students, some person is pretty confident you will score above 90%, miracles will happen. You're pretty confident that you will fail, miracles will happen. So there will be persons with happy, normal and sad mood, everything. I just say, pamper them a little while. Marks is just a number. Your knowledge is not determined only by the marks. Pacify them. Let an hour go, not a problem. The next class, they'll be attentive. They'll be listening to you, right? So understand others' emotions to manage your interaction successfully. It's very important. Here, social awareness, self-management. Yes. Yeah, social awareness and relationship management. See, this is what is recognition and regulations. What we dealt earlier, it's given in a nutshell. Emotional awareness, accurate self-assessment, self-confidence. You should be confident. Please remember, self-confidence is different from arrogancy. You should be confident about yourself. At the same time, don't be arrogant. When somebody says that you're wrong, accept it. If it's really a wrong thing. If not, no mind, your conscience knows which is right or wrong. Let them pour out their emotions, not a problem. Right? And manage yourself, self-control. Be transparent, adaptable to changes, and always have a zeal to achieve. Take an initiative. Don't expect others. Look at other persons to start. Start yourself. Social awareness, empathy. Please remember the difference between sympathy and empathy. Don't be sympathetic. Right? You'll be always be sympathetic. Don't think that the world is so good, the world is so cruel. You are very, very sympathetic. Don't think that people will understand you one day or the other. I am like this. Always you have to feel sympathy for others, but rather be empathetic. Put yourself in another person's shoes and try to understand what's the problem, right? And take a solution. Organizational awareness. What's happening in the organization? Please keep your eyes and ears wide open when you're there in an organization. You cannot say, I don't know. People will say, Arey Baba, it happened in your organization. You are telling that you don't know. Then how long you are there in this organization? Are you awake in your work time? These type of questions will probe you. And service orientation, right? Try to serve. Relationship management. The crux of everything is you know about yourself, you manage yourself, you know about others. Everything is for managing the relationship. You should be motivated, the crux, and relationship management. Inspirational leadership. You have to inspire others, right? Don't express yourself to impress others. That's one important mistake that everybody of us does. Right? Don't express yourself with an intention to impress others. Be casual. Right? Reveal it. Let your thoughts flow in the air. If they find it is valuable, let them get it. Else you are not going to lose anything. Right? And developing others. Try to develop others, your fellow co-workers. Try to influence them in a positive aspect. Be the change catalyst and try to manage conflicts, building bonds, teamwork, and collaboration. See, when you say that I did it, I am the one who knows everything, then there comes a problem. So that, shall we do it? I hope that we did a good job. We can achieve the target. People will feel that this, he's joining us or he's going to join us. In that case, it becomes a strong bond and people will respect that relationship, right? See, take an instance. The careful use of AI dimension is very, very important. You should know when to use it and when not to use it, right? See, GMs, general manager, create dash problem to prove their presence, right? It's very important. I just gave that as a fill in the blanks. And I'll tell you, this person is a GM, the person there, and here they are workers. It's a real-time incident, whereas I'm not revealing the name of the organization where it took place, and don't just try to probe into this picture by zooming it out. This is not the real picture taken at the site. Okay, it is just a picture revealing the situation. That's all. So what happened? This general manager is being paid 3.5 lakhs per month as the salary. A very, very big company. And the company was going very smooth, and he sensed something fishy going on in HR. Right? And HR started thinking that the management, I mean, he's GM HR, the management started thinking, we are paying 3.5 lakhs for this fellow in GM HR, and what is he doing? I don't think so that he is doing any type of work, and he has got a Mercedes Benz, and that was given by the company. He comes there, sits in his cabin, watches the television there. The LED TV is placed in GM's room. He watches Bloomberg, CNN, all those market share things, but that is not known to the management. They say that he's watching TV, that's all, right? He watches TV and he goes off, and they are paying him 3.5 lakhs. And somehow this person, GM HR, sensed it. So he thought that, okay, this idea has creeped into the mind of management. We have to do something, right? So what he did was, he created a problem and he exaggerated the problem to the management. See, this is what is happening in the organization. We have to somehow stop it. If not, these are the consequences. We have to face a lot of problem, and it will land up in a lot of losses for the organization. All these things. Then the management became very panicked. They said that, boss, you have to do something. No, that is why you are there. Yes, sir, I am working on it. Drag it for a long time. And after that, pretend as if you have taken a lot of efforts and try to solve the problem, right? So, and then tell the management, sir, somehow the problem is sorted out. Oh my God, we are out of danger and there is no problem at all. Then now the workers started their production and it will go on smooth. Don't worry, sir, I am there. I will take care. All those things. You know, here the general managers create solvable problems to prove their presence. I repeat the statement. I'm not telling it's a generalized statement, but many cases it happens. General managers create solvable problem to prove their sense. They know what problem they are creating, and always they'll have the problem under their control. It will not go beyond their control, and they will go to the extent of the problem's edge. And at one point of time, when the management surrenders themselves that you are my only savior to bring me back from this problem, then he'll say that somehow sort out. So after that, the management will not think, I think that 3.5 lakh is worth for the gentleman. Okay, another 6 months, no issues going on. And after that, he'll create another problem. This is how in many of the cases it's going on. It's a real-time case that had happened in one of the most renowned organization in South India, right? So self-awareness. Think about these questions, right? So just for you to probe about it. Why I am happy, sad, angry? Everybody think like that. What will I do tomorrow? My job is monotonous. There is nothing peppy yet. And the same old job, I do it again and again. It gets bored for me. I get depressed. Okay, why I did like that yesterday? I don't think so. This is my way of doing things. I really feel bad about it, how I behave like. And the next one, I normally will not go there, and why I did so? I don't know how I hired him. In a very cynical way, one of the HR told in a weekend party that is organized with their colleagues. The person's name is Mr. Ajay. He's into a manager cadre, a very, very, what I can say, a manager with high level of nuts. But he was hired by a very good gentleman, very knowledgeable person. He said that in the party. Ajay, I really don't know during your interview what had happened to me. Even now I think about what had happened to me during your interview. I don't know how I hired you. It's a lot of fun. The joke of the year, I can say, commenting to my wife, like, this fellow, the manager also said that, so sir, that's so nice of you, and he went off. That's all. You should try to get the answers for this. Then you can say that you are aware of yourself, right? Not only your plus and minus. For every act of yours, you should know the reason behind it, right? Either you can rectify that one, at least not to repeat that one. Self-management. Let me wait and see. Don't be in a hurry. Don't jump into conclusions. Just try to practice this one. I know how to handle it. Be confident. I feel happy. Don't keep grumbling always about what had happened. You're not going to change that one. My friend used to tell me, okay, if you feel sad, okay, let me also feel sad for you. You think the situation is going to change? Certainly not. So feel happy. And if there are some tasks which you cannot do, don't say that I can't do it. You say, I need some time. Definitely the management will appreciate this. See, this fellow is not denying my request. He accepts it. But he is telling that I need some time. Okay, that time can be given, not a problem. I can make it on time. You've got the resources. You know how to do it. You've got a strategy for it. Fine. I can make it on time. Boost up your confidence as well as your team's confidence. Social awareness. Why he shouted at me today? What I did wrong? And tell others, if others just lose their temperament, calm down. Have a cup of tea, come. I worked in Jaipur in a corporate. They said that, Hemant ji, chaliye, main aapko chai pilaunga. Aaram se, garma garam chai, masala wali. Take it. See, this reduces and helps you understand about your society. Society, in the sense, everything that's surrounding you is your society, not only something on the road or on the place. In your organization, people say that CSR, corporate social activity, starts from your workers. Pay them properly, treat them properly. That is the first step you have to start your CSR with, right? The next one, I can understand your pain. Share it with others. People feel relieved. Where is the treat? You feel happy for your fellow colleagues' promotion, right? In a personal life or in the official, whatever it is. Where is the treat? Ask them. Tell them I'll do it for you. Instill confidence in them. Okay, make them emotionally stable, make their emotions strong. Rather, people are there. I don't think so I can do it. I don't think so you can do it. Better leave it. There are persons like this. negative vibes will go on. No. Social skills, you tell this one, there are persons in corporate, people get addicted to praises. If anybody praises you, will you stop them? Or will you tell anything bad about them? Definitely not. Right? People get flattered, people get addicted to praises. You're great. You're the best I've ever seen. Even though we feel that it is a lie, we enjoy it. Right? People love beautiful lies. You will achieve it. Boost your self-confidence. You're most expected. You're not only most welcome, you're most expected. You're so nice to do this for me. Okay, you're from? Okay, people will just urge you to talk to you. You're from, oh, that's a wonderful place. I have been there quite a lot of time and I love that place. People will happy to get associated with you. Social skills. Rather, where are you from? People, no, that's not the way at all. You're from? The keenness to know their place. Hope you like that. Hope you can do this. Hope you are there. I really missed your presence there. It was an awesome party. Something like that. Make them feel happy. Make them feel attached to you. That's very important. Right? The way in which you say your emotions matters a lot. See, you're an emotionally intelligent astrologer. I told about the words that you utter, right, will manage your emotions. See, assume that this fellow with a topi is a politician and he has got his details, right? And this is an astrologer. He just go through all his details and tell that the real fact I'm telling you, this fellow is going to face a pathetic time seeing his wife, son, daughter, parents, brother, sister, everybody die in an accident, and he is going to be a loner. He's going to face that situation very terribly, right? The previously, another one astrologer came and he said that after looking at his details, right? Stars, everything. Dear sir, I'm very sorry to say that one, you are going to see the death of your wife, your lovable daughter, son, brother, father, mother, everybody, and you're going to suffer a lot in life. That fellow is being caught and put behind the bars immediately. You fellow, you're telling me like that. Put him in jail, that's all. And this astrologer understood what had happened to the previous astrologer. But he don't know what to do. He has to somehow handle the situation, right? So he came and saw the stars, everything, right? And he said that, dear sir, I've never seen a star combination like this one. See, you are going to have a wonderful life. You will live longer than your wife. You will live longer than your son, daughter. In that case, you see how old you can be. Getting old is a blessing. Aging is a blessing. Right? And then you can live more than your father, mother, that is different. More than your son and daughter, you can live. That is what they say. Right? Say, after listening to this one, this fellow got really happy. Right? This fellow got really happy. You think about the situation, what happened, the fact is the same. Right? The fact is same. All the others are going to die before him. He is going to be a loner. But see how other astrologers projected it and see how this astrologer has projected. So he has used his emotional intelligence and said that you are going to live longer than all the others in your family. Right? This is how you have to act. He is not telling any lie. The way in which you project the fact matters a lot. Right? That is very important to handle your. See, these stages, if you could see, personal competence and social competence, self-awareness, self-management, that leads to social awareness and social management. Like, marketing pyramid or C.K. Prahalad's bottom of pyramid, the self-awareness is very, very important. Unless and until you are aware about your own strength and weakness, right, you can manage yourself. And once you manage and start controlling your impulses, and you can have some positive outcomes. So you understand about others, and try to connect with them, try to build a rapport with them. Once you build rapport and connect with them, it is developing a trust. When the people trust you, only then you can influence others. This is a very important quality of a manager and a leader, right? You have to build the rapport in such a way that you develop the trust. Only you develop the trust, you can influence others. See, the perspective matters in EI. Less is more. For you, this penny is very less. For that fellow who's receiving it, feels it as a very high price, right? See, it's not what you say, it's the way you say it. Ice creams, what is that you reveal from this one? You know, children are there at home. When they ask you, Papa, I need ice cream, you immediately say no. That reveals your emotional instability, that hurts the feeling of that poor child. See, that every parent wants to earn everything for their loving children, right? Then why are you going to say no to this ice cream for a child? Your intention is, the weather is not okay, it's night time, not now. Tomorrow I'll get it. In the daytime, you have your ice cream. That is what you intend to say. But the way in which you say it, no. Rather try to put it, not now, baby. Probably tomorrow, the child will not get hurt and it will eagerly wait for tomorrow, right? See this one, a glass of water. What's the question, do you think? Very often people say that half empty, half full, and positive thinking, negative thinking, that's a different thing. Out of box thinking, what is that you can say? What will be the weight of the glass with the water? The answer differs. You know, it is not stable answer. The weight of the glass is the same, but how long you are going to hold the glass matters a lot. The same with your emotions, right? You keep thinking, grumbling with your emotions, negative emotions, that will make your heart and mind heavier, right? Leave that one. Let go syndrome is there. You can always feel yourself light, right? And say a joke I have come across recently. Think about that. Say what I have come across recently is that, you know, there were two gentlemen who are conversing, no? Two men are there, and one fellow was addressing that, you know, last evening when I was in Jen's toilet, the other said that, boss, just hold on, how come it could be otherwise? You know the fact, and the male was there, he would have addressed that when I was in toilet, like that's enough. And what is the necessity for him to tell that when I was in Jen's toilet? Then he asked, how come it could be otherwise? Then he got a very bad snub, right? See, this I heard it recently. This will make you think about the statement that he uttered. The second time when I say this one, the third time when I say this one, it becomes bored, right? People are thinking, kya hua yaar, isko kuch pagal hai kya, kuch gadbad hai kya iske saath, like, right? When you cannot laugh again and again for the same joke, see this one. Why do we cry for the same problem again? It is being said by a great saint. Okay. We don't laugh for the same joke again. Then why do we cry for the same problem again and again? That is EI. Right? Throw some emotions out of your mind. Try to be stable. Try to be intelligent. Why? Right? Signs of low emotional intelligence, if you could see, there are some persons, you can very well associate this one. They'll always argue for everything. It is not that they are superior. It lacks emotional intelligence. Not listening to others. Autocratic. Always blame others for the mistakes that happen. Never take the responsibility. Bad quality of a leader and manager. An emotional outburst. You cannot hold on to your emotions. Right? See, you can just try this one. These are the behavior and characters of the person with low EI. And these are the characters and behavior of a person with high emotional intelligence. Low EI, aggressive, demanding, egoistic, bossy, confrontational. Easily distracted, right? Glib. See, glib in sense they are quite fluent, but not in depth. Selfish, poor listener, impulsive, They resist for change because it's not that they don't want change. They don't know how to manage change. Passive, unresponsive, slow, stubborn, critical, picky, fussy, hard to please, always looking for perfection. That itself is a phobia, you know. And you see the person with high EI, assertive, ambitious, driving, strong-willed, decisive, warm, enthusiastic, sociable, charming, persuasive, patient, stable, predict things happen, consistent, listen to others, good listener. Okay, asking for details, a careful observation, meticulous, systematic, neat in his approach, right? So these you can say person with high and low EI, right? And this is another combination where you can say unprotective states of EI and core emotional intelligence, and then productive states of intelligence, right? And persons who practice this one will have these type of characteristics for sure. Disconnected, insensitive, untrustworthy, limited, temperamental, indifferent, unproductive states, right? And then core EI competencies. You have all these things. Awareness about self and others, emotional reasoning, managing, and have a positive influence. Then that will lead you to a productive state. Present, empathetic, being genuine, expansive, resilient, and empowering self as well as others, right? See, we teachers require a lot of emotional intelligence. In classroom management, individual difference and problem solving, use of motivational tools, and direct teaching methods, teaching style. See, we always remember our school teachers a lot. It doesn't mean that we don't remember the college teachers. The school teachers are something very close to our heart. That could be many reasons. See, who are very, very nice with us, we remember them a lot in a good way, right? So the teacher's job performance requires a very good level of emotional stability and intelligently managing your emotions, right? So here the vital role of teachers mentor in shaping the career of our students, protege, right? I just take a couple of minutes to complete my presentation. So EI in the exploration stage of career, a small caselet. I'm not going to give you any content, just going to narrate it for a minute or so, where you can understand how EI plays a role in the exploration stage of a career. Right, it's a real-time case. Again, the place where it took place is being hidden. What happened is that it was a very, very reputed hospital in India. In India, it was a very reputed hospital where patients from all over the world used to come there. So meanwhile, if you guess the name of the hospital, keep it with you. But probably your guess may be the right one. Right? It was a very renowned hospital, very known for the quality of surgery, the quality of doctors there. So what happened is that the important VIP is being admitted in that hospital, and the chief of that hospital itself took the surgery, right? He was attending to that surgery. And then one of the staff nurse inside the operation theater, and she's an apprentice there, right? Who's taking care of that operation theater. And there the surgery is related to the stomach. They just cut open the stomach. What do they do is that the role of that staff attendant nurse is that to give the cotton balls. They give the cotton balls. They just stuck it by the side of the stomach where they cut open to avoid the blood piercing in and oozing out, something like that. And they did the operation. It's a 2 hour of surgery. And after that one, all the specialist surgeons, everybody, they did it. They felt it is fine and safe, right? And when they will cover the stomach and stitch it up is that when this nurse says that the count of the cotton balls is perfect, how many cotton balls that she had given in first to stuff it in, the doctors will just remove it one by one and give it back to them. They'll put it in a bowl, and this staff nurse role is to count that one. She had given 14 cotton balls, and they returned with the 4. They'll take it out one by one and they'll return it back, and they've given back only 13, right? And then this chief of the entire hospital was there in the surgery. He was a doctor and he's taking up this surgery, and he just asked everybody wearing that mask and other things, you cannot identify. And this staff nurse, her name was Rebecca. I'm just revealing the name of the nurse. Her name was Rebecca. And she said that is the ball count okay? She said, no, sir, one is missing. Okay, fine. They just search here, there. Check it out properly. Is it okay? He said, no, sir, I'm yet to receive one more cotton ball. Then this person's temperament got a bit wild and he don't know how to react. See, who is she? How long is she here? Like, check it out. See, others were just trembling with fear. He's the chief of that entire hospital. He was telling that, check it out properly, na? He said, "Deklo," like that. He was just being a harsh voice. And she don't know what to do. He said that, sir, I'm very sorry to say that, sir, but one ball is missing. I need to get one more cotton ball. Only then I can say the count is okay. Because she should tell that the count is okay. Then with utmost anger, no, he just moved out. She just counted again like that. When he's just moving out, one cotton ball was stuck in his coat, like here, with that blood stain and other thing. He didn't tell anything. It just fell down and he took that cotton ball and gave it to her and asked whether is the ball count okay now. She said, okay and perfect. Then they completed the surgery, right? And after that, this staff nurse was called to his cabin and asked that, do you know who I am? Yes, sir, now I came to know. And later all the other doctors said that one. And he said that I'm head of this hospital. When I said that, you would have very well accepted, yes, sir, the ball count is okay. And you are very, very strong and clear. Hardly 6 months you joined duty. And what guts you have got to let out statements like that in front of me? For that nurse said that, sir, the matron, the chief of the nurses training institute, nurses training college called matron, my matron said that, please remember one thing when you're doing a service as a nurse. A death of a patient is just a statistics for the hospital. It is just an experience for the doctor. But think about that only breadwinner, the family. He's like a god to that family. Please keep that in mind and do your duty properly, right? Do your service to the best of your knowledge. This is what she said to me. And I believe that and I did it, sir. Then they appreciated her and said that, fine. So please remember the role of a teacher in bringing out our students, our protege is very, very vital. That will make them explore their career in the right way. Okay. Thank you so much for your patience and wish you all very success in life.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable words. I think our viewers have learned a lot from you today. Sir, from your speech, I would like to quote some points. That is, yes, we need to learn how to say no positively, and that is very important for our EI. And yes, we must think simple, and properly. We should not take things arrogantly. And yes, we must use our common sense, which is not common at all. And the last quote I have to quote that is, don't express ourselves to impress others. Just be simple and don't just jump into a conclusion. Thank you very much, sir. I have a few questions from audience for you.
Yeah, sure.
The first question from Abdul Moin, that is, how can we increase our EQ for decision making, business decision making?
See, the simple but as well as a powerful statement is that first take decisions. Don't keep thinking for a long time, right? So take the initiative to make decisions. See, never mind, always it is that you should take a right decision. Right decisions are appreciated, but wrong decisions can be rectified and will definitely make you mold further to take much more better decisions in life. Because many of us hesitate that if I take a decision, if it goes wrong, what will happen and who will be blamed, and I cannot answer to my bosses and other things. Take small decisions on time. Don't take too much of time, right? Take decisions on time. That will mold you further to make better decisions instead of being hesitant in taking decisions.
Thank you very much, sir. The last question for you, this is from Sohanur Rahman. That is learning conflict resolution is a part of emotional intelligence or not?
I can't get you. Can you just come again?
Like, sir, learning conflict resolution, is
Uh-huh.
that a part of emotional intelligence or not?
Definitely. Definitely, it's a part of emotional intelligence because, understanding the conflict as well as the grievances is very important for you to stabilize your emotions and handle them properly. It's a very vital part as such.
Thank you very much, sir, for answering questions so nicely, and thank you very much for giving us your valuable time today. So
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. On this note, I'm going to start our next session, the last session of this workshop and second session of this workshop. That will cover the social skills and application like career success and EI, happy living and EI, healthy living and role of emotions, social relationship and EI, and lastly leadership and EI. At this moment, I'd like to give the screen to our next speaker of tonight,
Yes.
Professor Moinuddin Chaudhary, President and CEO, Society for Leadership Skill Development, with us this evening. So, sir, before calling sir to talk, enlighten us with his talk, let me give a brief introduction of sir. Well, Professor Moinuddin Chaudhary is a passionate human resource development expert with special focus on emotional intelligence, effective communication skill, leadership and management skill, competency-based training, and other core soft skills. He has been the guest speaker of Institute of Business Administration, University of Dhaka, guest faculty for BCS officers of different cadres for Bangladesh Academy of Rural Development, which is known as BIRD, and ICMA-B as an industry expert and leader. He has earned his master's and honors degree in English from University of Dhaka with postgraduate diploma in HRM and HRD from ABP UK. He is a certified L&D professional from AON Hewitt Learning Center UK and PPA practitioner by Thomas International UK. He has served more than 150 local and global organizations, including ILO, as HRD consultant. He is the adjunct professor at Bangladesh University of Professionals since 2016 and also at Independent University Bangladesh since 2008. He has his own brainchild organization, Society for Leadership Skills Development, which is known as SLSD, as president and CEO. SLSD has its wing called SLSD School of Emotional Intelligence, where he is the chief patron, activist, and researcher of emotional intelligence. He is also the founder director of Federation of Bangladesh Human Resource Organizations. He served as convention secretary last year with FBHRO. This year, in 2020, he has acted as convention chair for National HRE Convention 2020. He is also the founder secretary general of Bangladesh Organization for Learning and Development, known as BOLD. He is the writer of 2 books entitled The Art and Science of Professional Skills in English and Emotional Intelligence in Bangla under the SLSD publications. Well, so SLSD School of Emotional Intelligence has already organized the first international webinar on emotional intelligence on September 28, 2020. He acted the convener of that program while Professor Dr. Nazrul Islam, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Northern University, Bangladesh, chaired the webinar. He is called one of the pioneers of emotional intelligence in Bangladesh, as he has been activist and practicing training and teaching EI since 2005. Thank you very much, sir, for giving your valuable time us today. We are lucky to have such an eminent personality with us here. So may I now request sir to share his views with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Madam Benazir Rahman, for wonderful presentation and anchoring. And I'd like to thank Northern University Bangladesh for organizing such a wonderful program, especially for such a subject which is widely right now demanded. And as opposed to artificial intelligence, emotional intelligence is very important. Already from Dr. Hemanto, we have learned so many things about emotional intelligence when it's in dimension, when it's its own dynamics. I have been asked to cover actually the last component of emotional intelligence, and it's called social skills. But before I move on to the
slides or anything, I'd like to share a story with you. A boy named Jason in America was always a very talented boy. He always got A plus score in his academic career. He had a dream to join Harvard University. But unfortunately for him, actually, his physics professor gave him B, grade B. And out of his probably frustration or whatever, he stepped his physics professor. And there was a trial. The jury found him innocent because of his mental instability of that particular situation. And of course, his teacher forgave him. Now, the question is, after a certain number of years, he was graduated, of course, with flying colors, and he had his merit when he passed his graduation. And the surprising part for his teacher was his student never came to him and said sorry for what he did. Of course, he did it out of his frustration and hopelessness, whatever, because he wanted to get an A. Instead of that, he got B, and it really agitated him and probably led him to that particular situation. Now, very recently, probably in our country, the same thing happened with Buet. We all remember the incident of Abrar, a very tragic incident. And we all know Buet is the place for all meritorious and talented students. I had a dream when I got first division back in 1987 with 3 letters to be an engineer. When people asked me at that time, what is your aim in life? And I proudly told them, I'm going to be an engineer, and I'll be graduated from Buet. Of course, I passed my all maths exams with my memory because I memorized all maths answer and I understood nothing because literally I understood nothing in the classroom. The maths was a challenge for me. And of course, that's a different story. But you see, this thing happened with such an institution where all talented people gathered for their academic credentials. And you see, we're really talking about the high IQ people staying there, but having this kind of situation. So this arrangement, this program will open our eyes for our students, for many of us to be aware of the importance of emotional intelligence in our personal and professional life. So with this story, I would like to start my presentation in a very simple way. And of course, I think, can anyone confirm me that you can see the slides or whatever? Can you see the slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can. We can see.
Okay. Thank you very much. So kind of you. So kind of you. Okay. So, first of all, let me tell you my passion, or probably my focus on emotional intelligence started in 2000 when I read this book by Daniel Goleman, which was published in 1995. A powerful thing we all were born with is nothing but emotion. And I always talk about emotional intelligence and active stupidity of emotion. So there are 2 parts. We're emotionally intelligent, emotionally. So being emotional and being 2 particular dimensions. And with that passion in mind, I continued. I conducted so many programs publicly for the corporate, for the ICMAB people, high profile, they call cost management accountants people. Of course, they take care of the financial part of every organization. Back in 2010, probably nobody talked about emotional intelligence in Bangladesh at that time. With the passage of time, I conducted some programs, and people asked me, "Sir, please write something in Bangla for a better understanding." And there, because of the inspiration and my passion or love for emotional intelligence, I have come up with this book, and it's going to be available very soon in December by 31st. Emotional intelligence, I kept the word as it is, but of course it has different Bangla version. Now it has become common like chair and table in our society and our perspective, especially for educated people. And I have also this book, which was mentioned by Madam Benazir, the art and science of presentation skills. I feel it's very important skill for your leaders, for the students, for teachers. And both these two books are available on rokumari.com. My first program had this title, Leadership Excellence with Emotional Intelligence, for the high profile, high voltage, ICM people. And it became so popular, they asked me twice. And since then, I had a lot of corporate clients, as mentioned by the host, multinational and local. They had the customized form of different perception of emotional intelligence. And I'm continuing my journey. For the first time in Bangladesh, I have online course in collaboration with my organization, in collaboration with Thriving Skill. You can see www.thrivingskill.com. And it's on emotional intelligence. You can have the fundamentals of emotional intelligence if you attend this. And Alhamdulillah, within 2 months since inception, we have 88 EI graduates attending the program. And it's a very, not that much expensive because of pandemic. It's a discounted course. Anyone can go there and, join the course. It's recorded, but self-explanatory, interactive, and anyone can become a certified EI graduate with this, the essentials and basics of emotional intelligence. As I mentioned, with the anchor, we have Sun Wing of Yale Center for Emotions. I'm trying to build up empire in Bangladesh. It's a little of emotional intelligence, popularized and get people involved to understand emotional intelligence, simple way. Okay, so first of all, when you talk about social skills, why gives you this answer? We have either career or business. Either way, you do something for your living. And you can see the gentleman Timothy Galway, is a Chinese coach, and he wrote a book, The Inner Game of Work, and he talked about this wonderful equation, and that actually brings attention to emotional intelligence. You'll find the connectivity between this equation and this topic. It says performance potential. It means people who are listening to me right now are potential. But the challenge is each person has some interference in his life. So you're potential, but there are some disturbance, interference. The less interference you have, the better performance you have. And interestingly, if we understand that emotion that either makes us, face the trouble, or we become the champion of our performance. So performance is very important in career and workplace. And the less interference, the less disturbance you have, the better performance you have. Now, importance of emotional intelligence. There are where you can fit no intelligence automatically. Look at the communication, self, motivation, team, empathy, resilience, no. Why? Emotion is the driving force for each human being individual. Right now, people listening to me are using your right, correct emotion to understand the importance of emotional intelligence. Now I'm going for a correction. I'd like to request some of you to write in the chat box and finally match the score. I have just 5 questions for you. Questions. Your level of social skills. So if you consider 2 for each answer, then you have 10 marks. Out of 10 marks, you can assess yourself and you can declare what score you have. So nothing wrong or nothing right, but it's your understanding about the social skill. Let me read out each question or statement and the options. The first statement says the students so that they know where they're going. Or option B, excuse me, I mean, can you?
I think I request the host to mute everyone. That will be better.
Should I
Ibrahim
continue?
sir, can you please
It happens sometimes. I mean, I don't know. I
sorry,
mean, the
sir, sorry for
host can
the
find out. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I'd like to see responses from people in the chat box. So choose. The Octane and mission are always given to staff students so that they know where they are going, or used to inspire groups or individuals or any individuals. Number 2, I always let people know of the behavior expected. Or B, I always model the behavior expected of others. So what do you want? You let people know, hey, look, that's how you should behave with me. Or you behave in such a way that you get return of the same behavior when you behave with other people. Or number 3, I always seek out relationships that are mutually beneficial or will help me achieve my end goal. Number 4, winning people over is something that I find difficult to do, or winning people over is something I'm very good at. Or number 5, I always communicate in a way everyone understands what I'm saying, or that 6 mutual understanding, and 1 A or B, 2 A or B, 3 A or B, 4 A or B, 5 A or B. So I'm giving you 1 minute time to assess yourself. Then I'll show you the answer so that you know your score out of this assessment. So 1 minute for all participants, and you can share your your selection or your choices in the chat box. 1 minute starts now. So I'm waiting. Okay, I can see some, proactive responses. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay. Shati Akhtar 60009. Thank you very much for your response. You're so courageous and proactive. You're responding your, and as there is nothing wrong, nothing right. Thank you. Of course, with another 10 seconds for other people, I can. Abdul Muin, wonderfully answered. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdul Muin and Ms. Shati Akhtar. I'd like to invite other people just to have fun, and then you compare the right score, and then you can, declare your score. You know what score you have, and share with the audience, or keep it with yourself. It doesn't matter. Okay. Excellent. So the top, now let me share the correct answer with you. So the vision and mission are always used to inspire groups and individuals. I always model the behaviors expected of others. I always seek out relationships that are mutually beneficial, not only to achieve my end goal. Winning people over is something I'm very good at. Human being, we all should be. And number 5, I always communicate in a way that seeks mutual understanding, because when you communicate, communication is sharing. Of course, thank you. I see many other people. Shubhabhumi, Shusmita Shendolon. Thank you so much. Now we can compare your answer and get the right score. Yes. So if each answer carries 2, then you can calculate the score, sort of mathematical activity. Where I am, we can, and you people are allowed to calculate your score. Wonderful. Vikas Chandra, Tash, Sajid Hussain, thank you so much, so many. Thank you very much. So I move on to the next slide to continue my session. The first thing first, if you see the next slide, you can see how important it is for career, better career, emotional intelligence. 71% of employers say they value EI over IQ. I mean, EQ matters more than IQ for them in their employment. 59% of employers would not hire someone with a high IQ but low EI. It's a survey conducted by Career Builder Survey in 2011. Let me share some more statistics advance, which was conducted in 2019 by PSI Services LLC. And you can see 90% of top performers are high in EI. Leaders with EI are more than twice as likely to be highly emotionally resilient. Emotional intelligence is a top predictor of high potential. Managers trained in EI deliver twice the profit than those that are not. Interesting. So the takeaway is 90% of top performers are high in EI. Now you can understand the importance of emotional intelligence in career. Some more statistics. Executive success, you can see this is conducted by the same organization in 2019. It says executives are 60% more likely to derail for of low EI than any other. Executives are 60% more likely to derail if they have low EI. Emotion, they don't have the right EI, so they may derail, they may become off track of their performance. Let me see, there is some more. Yes, thank you very much. A lot of responses. 32% executives with high levels of EI are 32% more effective at building and maintaining relationships. It's very important for our personal and professional career to manage relationship with others, because we are human beings. We do not work alone. We work in a society. We work in a team. So as you have to work with other people, you have to learn how to manage them, how to maintain that for a long time for win-win productivity. Why does EQ matter more than others? It's quite interesting. I'm going to share 5 differences or comparison. Of course, there is a research that EQ alone cannot give you everything in life. Some other cues. Stephen Covey, in his book, The Highly Effective Habit of by Stephen Covey, and he said, PQ, physical quotient, you need physical fitness, you need IQ, the knowledge, you need EQ, emotional intelligence, you need SQ, spiritual quotient, to make yourself aware of your identity, entity, religious, or probably any good deed. So combining all these skills will give you, if you see, IQ gives you knowledge, but EQ gets your knowledge recognized. If you go back to the examples we talked about, think what happened in USA or think what happened in Buet, they had the IQ, but it couldn't get the knowledge recognized because you allow dream and EQ puts your dreams. The next one is very important. IQ gives you hope. You are studying, you are reading right now, students, you have so many dreams and vision and mission in life. But what happens when you face reality, when you face the real life, probably things change. And at that time, EQ helps you to turn around when you feel hopeless and frustrated. That's very important, right? EQ tells you, hey, go on. You are the one. You can make the difference. But IQ gives you hope. IQ gives you a career or business, but EQ helps you to prosper in your career and business. You specialize in it helps you write soul. Ask you, which doctor do you visit often? Doctor who at least smiles at you, talks about your well-being when he examines you, or doctor who shows you gloomy and grave, serious face? Okay, and I can guarantee 99% people will say, of course, I'm half healed when my doctor smiles at me. When doctor says, okay, there is a disease, but you can drive it away, you can beat it. And my confidence goes up. I become healed because of those words. And if your doctor says, I told you to do this and that, and you're not following, you're a bad guy, and you have, no hope. I mean, you will die within a very short time. Probably with these words, you die there. Medical science, there's of course a special knowledge, but with the right behavior and attitude can heal the patient halfway down with their attitude and interaction. So in leadership, you'll find so many people. I'm going to share one researched survey by Chip Conley on his research survey paper, the top 10 emotionally intelligent Fortune 500 CEOs. With so many people, I'm going to share 4 of them. You can see Indra Nuri from Pepsi, Jeff Bezos from Amazon.com, Alan Mulally from Ford, Howard Schultz, and
Excuse me, sir. Hello.
Yes.
Sir, now we can hear you.
Okay. I think I. Okay. Now you hear me. I think I talked about. Okay. I was talking about optimism, right? I'm sorry.
Yes, now we can. Now you're audible.
For
No
some
problem.
reasons or other, I missed that part.
No problem, sir.
Okay. Okay. So optimism as part of emotional intelligence for healthy and happy living, you can see there are so many benefits of being optimistic. If you're optimistic, you have all these benefits. And when you have this, you are healthy and you are happy. And you have healthy and happy living. And some of them can be mentioned like balanced blood pressure, lower cardiovascular risk, lower risk of developing diabetes. So it automatically helps you to become healthy and happy in life. Now, a lot of experts in this workshop talked about emotion and emotional intelligence, but I'd like to add some value or sort of supplementary, complementary on my part. We all should know and we must know, as done by Paul Ekman, American psychologist, professor emeritus, University of California. He talks about 6 basic emotions disgust, happy, sad, surprised. So there is nothing wrong with any of these emotions. Remember that. There is no such thing as negative emotion or positive emotion. For example, you are visiting a place where you find that friend's close relative died. What would you do? You have to feel sad because that's the context, that's the situation. Someone said something to you which is irritating, or probably you asked someone to do thing, work it out, but he did not do it properly. You should be angry. But the question is, Aristotle had a wonderful quotation about emotional intelligence. He said, becoming angry with someone is very easy, but becoming angry with the right person at the right time, with the right degree, is very challenging. There is nothing wrong of being angry. There is nothing wrong of being sad, surprised, or probably. But does the context support you? I'd like to draw your attention to this biological scientific explanation of emotional intelligence, which was missing. So I thought I could add this value for you. For example, our brain has 2 parts. One part is called emotional brain, the other part is logical brain. Emotional brain has one particular organ, is called amygdala. It's like little knot. Amygdala is a Greek word. And it is full of fearful emotions like anxiety, stress, worries, negativity, so many things. And logical framework, on the other hand, we have rational brain, we call a new cortex. Cortex has information based on your experience, knowledge, and qualification. So it's very logical. Unfortunately or fortunately, our message goes first to amygdala. That's the challenging part. And when it goes to amygdala, if we react, sometimes things might go wrong. That's why emotional intelligence experts say, hold on for a few minutes, a few seconds. I have a theory like to 20 minutes, then you'll see the message is going to the logical part, the new cortex. And from new cortex, you will not react, you will respond. That's quite interesting because you logically analyze the situation. For example, you are in a party and one of your friends or probably colleagues said something to you which was really irritating and probably could bring a confrontation. What would you do? You feel inside you, you are becoming angry, you're becoming disgusted, or probably becoming sort of sad and scared. It's okay. But unless you express it through your attitude and behavior, your emotion is within you. Time, if you say, okay, I will not discuss this right now, we'll talk about it later, or probably give him a logical answer, how you can manage it. So you see, emotional intelligence talks about a balance between the rational and emotional brain. It's not only emotional brain. We need both parts, to use our expertise, to use our skill, to use our knowledge. We need both parts. We need emotional part. We need the logical part. When we become friends, you become emotionally intelligent. Already, other experts talk about the 5 core elements of emotional intelligence, but sometimes it's very to remember. So I have my own tool. I call it 5S as a tool for emotional intelligence, and you can remember it very simply. You can see there are 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And first two are divided, first two belong to personal competence. Is for yourself, for your excellence. When you are self-aware, when you can manage, we call it self-awareness and self-management. And for the outer world, the social compliance or social competence or social excellence is the social awareness to understand emotion of other people and to use the right skills, which are called social. And for each S, you need motivation. You have to inspire, motivate yourself constantly to be self-aware, to be self-managed, to be socially aware, and to be socially skilled. So easy to remember these 5 skills. I'd like to request people who are listening to me to write 5S so that you remember chronologically and sequentially 5 components of emotional intelligence. I repeat, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, social skills. The last part is self-motivation. So I'm waiting for 1 minute. I'd like to request all of you, especially students, to write 5S in the chat box, sort of revision. There is a saying, if you write something, whether with the keyboard or with pen, you write something in your neurons. I mean, the neurons in your brain, there are trillions of neurons in your brain. And your writing gets connected with neurons and you remember for the rest of your life because you wrote something, not on computer, the chat box or on a piece of paper, but you write something on your neurons. So I'd like to invite all of you just for 1 minute to write 5S if you have understood what I have just said. S for self-awareness, S for self-management, S for social awareness, S for social skills, and S for motivation. So I would definitely wait for 1 minute. I know many of you will not pay attention to this, but especially students can write these so that it could be a good takeaway for you from this workshop. If you remember this 5S for the rest of your life, you can remember emotional intelligence. So I'm waiting for people to write in the chat box. Okay. Let's see how many people respond to this. Okay. I see response. Okay. That's great. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rashidul Hassan. Thank you very much. Wonderfully said, wonderfully written. Yes. Thank you very much. 5 for you to understand awareness, self-management, social awareness, skills, and self-motivation. Excellent. Thank you very much for my, okay, for complying with my request. Thank you very much. So what is social skill? Because I'm going to cover mainly the social skill part. Social skill is any competence facilitating interaction, communication with where social rules communicated, changed, verbal and non is called socialization. Lack of such skills can cause social awkwardness. Sometimes when someone does something against social norms and regulations, we call them unsocial. Otherwise, we say, yes, it's very social. It's very people oriented. And Daniel Goleman with Richard Boydich and Annie Mackey talked about 19 competences of emotional intelligence. And each competence can be one particular skill. That's very important. So there are 19 competences which match a lot of social skills and soft skills. The other term we always use, soft skills. Okay. Now, for especially the social skills to maintain social relationship, he talks about 7 competences. If you see, there are 7 competences: inspired leadership, influence, change catalyst, managing conflict, build bonds. Of course, we have the communication part. So communication is also part of social skills. So where to start? People always talk about, so where should we start learning social skills? How we can learn social skills or soft skills you talk about. So I have 4 approaches to share with you through which you can improve your social skills day by day. But remember, I always say Rome was not built. So don't expect that you become emotionally intelligent from tomorrow. It's a soft skill, but it takes time. Rather, I call it a skill. Some experts call soft skills nowadays hard skills because they are very hard to achieve. Thank you, Shoykot Das. Thank you very much. Thank you, Shushmita Sen. Thank you, Shubho Bhumik. Thank you, Tahiyat Tabassum. Thank you, Khalil Rahman. Thank you, Shohanur Rahman. Thank you, Bikash Chandra. So kind of you. Thank you very much. I appreciate your responses. So where to start you can look at the list. So you can add communication with these 7 titles. Then what? How can we learn? And 7 competences. I have found is effective leadership skills you must learn. Negotiation, conflict management. Someone asked this question before my session, whether negotiation and conflict resolution is part of emotional intelligence. Of course, if you are an emotional intelligent person, you know how to minimize conflict. Conflict is always there. Sometimes conflict can bring creativity, but you have to learn as an emotionally intelligent person how to minimize conflict and go for the productivity. Coaching and mentorship skills, you have to learn how to coach people, like a football coach, tennis coach, anything. You can be a good leader. You have to work with other people, then you have to learn team building skills. Network is called the net worth, right? It's the network that gives you the privilege, the leverage, expose yourself to the society and go to the next level of success. Networking is very important skills, intelligence. Now, what are the things you can do as a student, as a professional? I share 4 approaches. One approach is called individual efforts. You can do a SWOT analysis, find out what strengths you have, what weaknesses you have as part of your skill. Can you speak English? Is your presentation skill is good? Can you talk? Can you communicate well with people? Can you write? Do you tolerate people when they are irrational or negative? So when you have these answers, and if you have yes, then if you have no, then those are your weaknesses. Remember, your strengths give you opportunities and your weakness brings threats. The more you can minimize your weakness, the more opportunities you have in your life to succeed, right? The more weakness you have, the more threats you have. So that's the reciprocal sort of equation they have. So find out as an individual, do your SWOT analysis. Find out what strength you have, what weakness you have, what opportunity you have, weaknesses, converting them in strengths, and remove traits in your life. At any time, just draw 4 boxes and start using your SWOT analysis. Then there is actually challenge for this approach. The challenges are, you may not have the right motivation, you may not have the ownership of learning, or you can do a bias SWOT, right? Most of the time, people overestimated about, you can be biased towards bad thing. No, it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. Then it becomes a challenge for you. So rather you go for, these are the limitations we have for the individual efforts. But you can remove your laziness, you can become more proactive and more motivated. You can take the ownership of your learning. No, I want to learn it. Then you have the MOOC, massive open online courses. And during this pandemic, even you can do a course from Harvard, Oxford, what not. There are so many programs offered by so many renowned universities and institutes. Once you go there yourself, enroll, and choose a particular topic one by one we talked about here. That could be one individual effort. Despite the challenges, you remove the challenges and you can go ahead with it. Then we have organizational initiative. If anyone is working with organization can be learning prone. They can arrange different programs. They can invite people. For example, Northern University has taken probably the first university, this kind of initiative to invite the industry expert, the academician, to talk about this particular burning issue, which is very important for personal and professional life, student and anyone, any profession. The challenge would be the budget, expertise, mindset, and organizational culture. Some organizations might not facilitate your learning opportunity. They might say, well, it's your skill, go and learn it. In that case, I would like to request you, invest in learning if necessary. Invest in learning, and then you will see the change. So organizational initiative is very important, like Northern University. There should be more organizations where they facilitate learning environment and they have the right mindset and organizational culture. Community initiative is very important. There are so many organizations where you have the opportunity to participate, to interact with those organizations. For example, my organization, as part of community initiative, has a model. People who join our organization as a member, they have the learning opportunity, either full or partial scholarship, social and professional network, opportunity to improve leadership with your ideas. Anyone coming up with any idea can have the opportunity to implement that. We have 7 wings where people can join and explore their leadership. They can have free coaching. We have a list of successful life coach. They talk about different topics to improve their skills and competence. We have SLSD English Club. So there are so many organizations which have this kind of model for people to improve their skills. Academic initiative, I see there is a gap in this country right at the moment. Some universities, for example, with I teach a subject called business communication with EI in Bangladesh University of Professionals, because they allowed me to include one chapter on emotional intelligence to make students aware of emotional intelligence. So I'd like to request Northern University Authority to add emotional intelligence as part of any course very exclusively for students to understand it, because as artificial intelligence is the future, in order to control the AI, we need EI, emotional intelligence. So it's very important for our next generation leadership. So the last word I would like to share with you by Alvin Toffler. He says, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read, write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Our lifelong learning program. So never stop learning, because life never stops teaching. So I'd like to request the presenter to ask me on behalf of the audience. Thank you very much for listening to me with such patience, because quite a long time, 2 hours listening to people one after another. Thank you very much. Over to Madam Benazir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Benazir, are you there?
Sir, maybe disconnected, sir.
Maybe
Yes,
Benazir is
maybe,
disconnected.
yes.
Professor Dr. Nazrul Islam, would you like to say a few words now, sir?
I think, yeah, thank you. Thanks, Professor Moin, for your excellent, Moinuddin Chowdhury, for your excellent analysis of emotional intelligence and focusing on the social skills. And I'm sure that our students will be benefited from your analysis, from the exercise you have given to our students, and from the examples you have given to the audience. I think at this stage, as Ms. Benazir Saba is disconnected, I would like to request our Honorable Treasurer of Northern University, Bangladesh, Professor Ekram, to say something.
So thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity to speak something in this very important webinar. So basically, the first speaker was Hemant Kumar, and I heard and very carefully, in fact, very informative session was taken by the Hemant Kumar, and therefore Professor Moinuddin. So actually, something I have some realizations from the Hemant Kumar lectures is that um, emotional intelligence for building up a very good relationship and basically for maintaining the social relationship, etc. So one thing it's my philosophy and it's my opinion that actually when we are ready for the change or we are willing to enhance our emotional intelligence, this is basically a gradual change. I think change in the human being or in the organization or in the society basically take place in the two ways. One is called the gradual change. It will take time, but very slowly we are build up ourselves for our goal or objective, whatever it is. And another is called the drastic change. In this case, I think gradual change we have to talk about. But problem is that according to the Aristotle, he said that everybody talked about the change, but they themselves are very reluctant to change. And that is basically psychological effect. When Hemant Kumar was talking about that, you have to absorb the comments of the others. Okay, so you should not be angry with them. So this basically what I'm talking about, the change management, self change management. So I'm not sure, but I think that it can be very much relevant with the emotional intelligence, that is self change management.
True.
Otherwise, we will not accept the other people's opinion and will be unsocial. That is Professor Moinuddin basically telling that unsocial or social or whatever it is. So we have to ready for the change, for the betterment. Okay,
Yes.
so we have to be logical before thinking, for giving any decisions, and here nepotism or other things will be overcome by the emotions. Okay, so this is very important webinars. I will request our professors also to arrange these types of webinars very often, so that according to along with our students will be also empowered, because one example given by the Hemant Kumar that at the age of 67, okay, a woman of American woman is starting her career once again when she was fallen down, and and Hemant Kumar referred as that this is disaster. This is not the social or environmental disaster, but organizational disaster. For an example, this COVID-19 situation, a lot of organizations were basically shut down. A lot of pupils lost their jobs. So we should not be broken down. Okay, so the people who have the huge or enough emotional intelligence or build up the emotional intelligence, they will survive. They will do better. And
Yes.
we learn from our speaker. And I am giving special thanks and heartiest congratulations from the Northern University of Bangladesh to come and join and sacrifice their valuable time. So thank you, sir, both of
Thank you
you.
very much,
Okay.
sir. And I'm sorry I has been disconnected. So we have a shortage of time. I will definitely convey the questions to Professor Mainuddin sir so that he can answer. Sorry, students. We will definitely convey the questions to sir. At the last moment, I would like to give a floor to our Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Dr. Nazrul Islam, who is also the Dean of our School of Business, who this workshop is actually his brainchild. And thank you very much, sir, for guiding us to arrange such program and giving us scope to be a part of this. So, sir, I may I request to have a few words about this. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. In fact, the main objective of this webinar was to give an idea about IQ and EQ and the effect on success, effect on work, effect on behavior. of these two popular issues which are now considering all over the world, even by the corporate, in selecting their employees, in promoting their employees, even in firing their employees. So these two things, I thought that our senior students, our faculty members, and of course other people who are connected in this 2-day long webinar, they will be benefited from this. In fact, what I thought and I identified from the lectures of Professor Maran and Professor Hemant and Professor Moinuddin Chowdhury and other speakers, that it is the ability to understand your emotion, the ability to understand, to use your emotion. It is the ability to manage your own emotion, and that is the emotional intelligence. If someone is unable to manage his or her emotions positively, then it can create problem for his work, for his decision, and for the outcome or the performance. So if the person is emotional intelligence, then it can relieve the stress of the person. It can help him or her to communicate well effectively. It can empathize with others. That means help him or her to understand the emotion of others. It can, of course, help him or her to overcome the challenges and diffuse the conflict. And so we can say that emotional intelligence is basically three types of three things are concerned with this emotional intelligence. Such as emotional competency, whether the person is emotionally competent or not. That is the first component, if I sum up. And the second component is the emotional maturity, whether the person is emotionally matured or not. And the third component is the emotional sensitivity. That means how sensitive the person is. If the person is emotionally intelligent, he will be less sensitive. So that is why emotional competence, emotional maturity, and emotional sensitivity. Basically, these three aspects are to be present in a person who would like to survive in the society, who would like to work efficiently at his work, and who would like to work with others. That means who will have the good relationships with others. So knowing your emotions and knowing emotion of others. And about the IQ, IQ has been developed by William Stem, a psychologist in 1912, and emotional intelligence was developed in 1998 by Daniel Goleman. So, at that time, intelligent quotient or IQ was described as that intellectual abilities and potentials of an intellectual, and which is mostly by birth, intellectual ability. But emotional intelligence is not by birth; it is learned, it is acquired, and it is learned from the environment, from the situation, from the learning institutes. So IQ is intellectual abilities and potential. And in other words, you can say it is a wide range of cognitive skills, basically, of the individual, such as reasoning capability or reasoning skill, logic, logic capability to see the things logically, and capability to solve the problems. So these are basically IQ related aspects, and those are cognitive aspects which are in fact obtained by the individual by birth. And we consider high average IQ person is from 110 to 119, high average IQ person. And low average IQ person is who has 80 to 89 IQ score. He is treated as low average IQ person. But average IQ person, I told in my lecture day before yesterday, it is 85 to 115. So the discussions made by the scholars, by the professors, by the practitioners in last 2 days will be useful for our students to have the clear idea about the IQ and EQ, and also it will help them to manage their emotional intelligence or manage their emotion and develop their emotional intelligence. I, on behalf of Northern University, Bangladesh, would like to extend my cordial thanks to the honorable speakers for spending their valuable times with us, with our students, and their advice. And I hope that this will be helpful for them to build their career in future. With this, I believe and hope that these 2 days long workshop will have a positive impact on the management of emotions of our students, of ourselves, and of the participants who attended this 2-day long workshop. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring word. And yes, it will definitely going to help our participants to manage their emotional intelligence in a better way. So we have come to an end of this enlightening session. Time is so short, so I'd like to thank all of the participants as well as the speakers and all the faculty members of Northern University Bangladesh for joining this workshop. And also I'd like to thank our honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, for giving us opportunity to have such excellent workshop. So on this note, and dear participants, you will get your e-certificate very soon. So on this note, me, Benazir Rahman, would like to say goodbye to all of you. Have a nice evening. Good night. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you
Very
all.
good.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you too.
Thank you, sir.